Good morning. Mahalia Bowles with your ECU News Update. Hundreds of West Australians have gathered to remember the lives lost in the Bali bombings. The terror attack claimed the lives of 16 people from WA. A commemorative service at Kings Park this morning marked 20 years since the devastating event. Many people have returned to the sites of the attacks in Bali to pay their respects. Thousands of nurses will walk off the job today in response to Premier Mark McGowan's refusal to implement nurse-to-patient ratios and better wages. It is expected the strike will exceed over 2,000 people. British actor and Broadway icon Angela Lansbury has died at the age of 96. She solved endless murders as crime novelist Jessica Fletcher in the long-running TV series Murder, She Wrote, and won 5 Tony Awards for her Broadway performances. To sport in Europe, the Matildas have defeated Denmark 3-1 in their friendly at Viborg Stadium Centre. They've capped off their European road trip with a great win for this year. It is currently 16 degrees. More news at 5 p.m. Good morning. I'm Mahalia Bowles with your ECU News Update. A sinkhole in Beachborough opened up, swallowing a 4-wheel drive. Traffic at the intersection of Brockmill Avenue and Barrel Way was diverted, and the sinkhole has now been drained by Water Corporation. 2,000 people have gathered at a candlelight vigil to mourn the death of Indigenous schoolboy Cassius Turvey. 15 fire pits were dug into the ground at Weir Park in Midland, marking each year of his life. His mother, Michelle Turvey, said she doesn't want children to be afraid and they can still walk the streets safely. Religious ministers in Western Australia are now legally required to report sexual abuse. According to new laws, information including from confessions must be reported, and a failure to do so is a punishable offence. 80,000 racegoers are expected to turn out at Flemington Racecourse today for the 162nd Melbourne Cup. It's cloudy today and will reach a top of 21 degrees. More news at 5 p.m. Good morning. I'm Mahalia Bowles with your ECU News Update. A motorcycle rider has died after hitting a tree in Warnbro overnight. The 26-year-old man was taken to Rockingham General Hospital and died shortly after. Anyone with information about the crash is being urged to contact Crime Stoppers. An Indigenous WA police officer has called on Police Commissioner Col Blanche to apologise for his comments on the alleged murder of Cassius Turvey. In an open letter to the ABC, the officer said the comments were insensitive and at worst sympathetic to the accused man. Commissioner Blanche has not offered a response to the letter or a formal apology for his comments. Nicholas Cruz has been sentenced to life in prison without parole for murdering 17 students and staff with a semi-automatic rifle at a Florida high school in 2018. A jury voted to spare the 24-year-old from the death penalty last month. And in cricket, Australia is playing Afghanistan tomorrow night and need to win to keep their T20 World Cup quarter-final hopes alive. It's currently 24 degrees in Perth, heading for a top of 32. More news at 5. Good morning. Mahalia Bowles with your ECU News Update. Junior doctors have condemned Perth's public hospitals. Over 700 trainee doctors responded to the Australian Medical Association's annual Hospital Health Check report in WA. The AMA claims hospital performance has plummeted across the board for wellbeing and engagement. 3 Ellenbrook teens have been charged with causing an estimated $50,000 damage to Stirling train station after allegedly attacking 2 transit guards earlier in the week. They will front court later this month. An agreement to settle a civil case has been reached between actor Alec Baldwin and the husband of Helena Hutchins, fatally shot dead on the set of the Western film Rust last year. The film will resume production in January. Australian selectors have chosen not to send their first choice bowling attack to Perth for Sunday's T20 clash with England, limiting their workload heading into the World Cup in November. It's currently partly cloudy in Mount Lawley and 15 degrees. More news at 5 p.m. Good morning. Mahalia Bowles with your ECU News Update. Nurses in WA are looking to start industrial action today, regardless of a last-minute attempt to avoid it by Health Minister Amber-Jane Sanderson. There was no movement on the government's pay offer of a 3% a year increase, plus a $3,000 cost of living payment. An Iranian schoolgirl has been beaten to death for refusing to sing a pro-regime anthem. 16-year-old Azra Panahi died after security forces raided her school and demanded a group of girls sing an anthem that praises Iran's supreme leader. A group of migrants have been stranded by human smugglers on an island near Puerto Rico. The group consists of 60 women, 38 men, and 5 children ranging in age from 5 to 13 years old. Brazilian soccer superstar Neymar has gone on trial for fraud in Spain and is expected to testify on Friday. It's a hot day here in Perth with a top of 30 degrees. Stay tuned for more news at 5.